Here's the open secret of professional design. It isn't drawn freehand, it's built from shapes, lines, and one famously feared tool. One Skillshare class teaches the whole building process. 117,000 students have taken it, and their verdict is one of the strongest you will ever see. This is Adobe Illustrator CC, Essentials Training taught by Dan Scott, 112 lessons, nearly 12 hours, 33 class projects, and it's built for absolute beginners. Here's the plan, the Shapes First method, the instructor's Adobe credentials, what 117,000 students said, and whether 12 hours is actually worth it. The method lands in the very first lessons. You draw with shapes, rectangles, circles, stars, assembled like parts, not sketched like art. By lesson 10, those shapes become your first creature, a little character made entirely of pieces you already know how to make. Then lesson 11 hands you the power tool, the shape builder. Overlap simple shapes, combine them, carve pieces away, and suddenly logos and icons stop being drawings and start being equations you can solve. And it stacks. By lesson 27, shapes plus the curvature tool plus the pen tool add up to a full Fox illustration, each new tool multiplying the ones before it. Compound interest in vector form. So who's teaching? Dan Scott, an Adobe certified instructor for Illustrator, a professional designer of 16 years, and a teacher whose courses in person and online have been attended by more than 1 million people. That's not a typo. The certification matters. It means the people who make Illustrator vouch for how he teaches it, and Adobe has handed him multiple teaching awards on top. This is instruction with receipts, not just confidence. But the thing students actually mention is the delivery, jokes, tangents, and happy pen tooling sign-offs. 16 years of studio work taught like a friend showing you around. The hours pass dangerously easily. Inside, it's nearly 12 hours across 112 lessons. Set up in shapes first, then tools, type and color, then effects, 3D patterns and export. A complete route, not a sampler. Scan the contents and the highlights jump out. Your first creature at lesson 10, the impossible triangle, the dreaded pen tool at lesson 23, named exactly the way you feel about it, the awake fox, type around a circle badge, paper cut effects, 3D extruded type, realistic mockups, and a full lesson decoding every export format. And threaded through all of it, 33 class projects. The course builds your portfolio while it teaches. Learn a tool, ship a project over and over. Which brings us to the boss fight. The dreaded pen tool, that's genuinely what the class calls it, because everyone fears it. 16 minutes on anchors, handles, and curves taken slowly, click, drag, curve, and somewhere in that lesson, the most feared tool in design quietly becomes the most powerful one you own. Fear converted into control. Then the redemption arc, you draw an owl with the friendly curvature tool. Then the same owl again with the pen, same bird, total control, and in a lesson you won't see anywhere else. Dan reviews real student submissions on screen, tidying their anchor points and explaining every fix. Your classmates' mistakes, solved in public for everyone's benefit. That's real teaching, not just demonstrating. Then Act 2 begins, the design half of the course, type, color, and gradients, the part most software tutorials never bother to reach. Type gets 15 lessons of its own, picking fonts, pairing them, glyphs, curved text, monograms, and the classic type around a circle badge built step by step. Your logos stop looking typed and start looking designed. It's a quiet, permanent upgrade. Color gets the same respect. Eyedropper colors straight out of photos you love, build them into reusable swatches, browse Adobe Color for ready-made harmonies, and the eternal mystery finally gets settled. RGB for screens, CMYK for print, explained once, remembered forever. Then gradients 10 minutes deep, and the newest toy, generative recolor, one finished design restyled into fresh colorways in seconds. A whole afternoon of what-ifs compressed into a click. The fundamentals first, then the shortcuts. After that, the class gets gleefully weird. The effects playground, paper-cut layers stacked into depth, type liquefied, bloated and puckered, flags warped, text sliced, photos turned into stencils. Every one of them a small recipe you keep forever. This is where your graphics stop looking like everyone else's and start looking deliberate. And then the third dimension, type extruded into chunky dimensional lockups and the inflate tool puffing flat shapes into soft 3D balloons. That Black Friday sale graphic you've seen on every website, there's a project where you just make it, effects that look expensive, built from tools you now own. It's very satisfying. Then comes the cleverest move in the course. Halfway through, the course does something clever. It hands you a client brief, your own farmer's market product, a brand to build from scratch. Mood board, logo, t-shirt, business card, all the way to realistic shelf-ready mock-ups, not a follow-along copy of Dan's design, your product, your calls, your portfolio piece, and it's entirely yours. The new AI features are covered properly too. Text-to-vector turns a typed prompt into editable vector art. Every anchor point yours to adjust. Generative recolor restyles anything on command. The class treats them as tools in the kit. AI drafts it, you finish it. It's still your design, just faster to reach. The future, taught responsibly for once. About the size, 112 lessons sounds intimidating until you see the map. Most lessons run 5 to 10 minutes, one tool per sitting, one project per tool. It's a curriculum you snack on, not a binge you survive, designed for actual schedules. It even ends practically. A full lesson decoding every export format, which file for print, which for web, which for client, WebP versus SVG versus PDF, settled in 14 minutes. Years of exporting the wrong thing, over. Small lesson, enormous relief. And when lesson 112 arrives, look at the pile you're sitting on. 33 finished projects, a complete brand of your own, and a printed shortcut sheet pinned by your desk. Not just skills, evidence of them, which leaves only the question of proof. So, does it deliver? 99% of students said the class met or exceeded expectations, and 78% said it flat out exceeded them. Extraordinary. Because holding attention for nearly 12 hours is the hard part, and the most liked board shows how he does it. Engaging teacher leads with over 3,000 votes, clarity of instruction almost level with it. Helpful examples, organized lessons, actionable steps, all clustered right behind. That pairing is the tell. Entertaining enough to finish, rigorous enough to be worth finishing. 12 hours is a real commitment. 117,000 people are telling you it pays off. So who's it for? Absolute beginners. It assumes nothing, template graduates. You've hit the ceiling of drag-and-drop tools and vectors are the way past, and future freelancers. The projects make you client-ready, already live in Illustrator? Skip it. This one's proudly essentials. Because underneath all 112 lessons, the entire philosophy of this class fits into just 6 words: ready. Master the tools, ship the projects, 33 of them, 1 portfolio, 0 excuses. And by the end, an instructor who genuinely feels like a buddy telling you what to build next. That's rare, and it works, which brings us to the final tally. So the verdict, worth nearly 12 hours. For a real seat in Illustrator, absolutely. You leave with the tools mastered, a portfolio started, and a brand shipped. It's included with a Skillshare membership, and there's a free trial, so starting costs exactly nothing. Your 12 hours are the entire investment. The return compounds for years. One more thing before you go, the important part. Don't go searching for the class. The link in the description gets you in free through Skillshare. Tap it, open lesson 1, and draw your first creature tonight, then upload it to the class gallery. Your classmates did. Happy pen tooling, and see you in the next review.